Hello, I'm Camilla, and I want to wish you a very warm welcome to this wildflower celebration. And the reason why we celebrate is because this book is coming out very soon. It's on October 21st in US and Canada. And if you haven't yet, I would love it if you would pre-order it. Pre-orders mean so much for buyers and for giving this book a perfect start into the world. And it is of course on wildflowers, and it's actually a little bit autumn outside. So I thought we should, in this fall video drawing celebration, we should celebrate the wildflowers before we go even more into autumn. And today I am going to sketch a Queen Anne's lace, and it's going to be in two different growth stages, because that is I think that is very important when we are drawing flowers, that we actually look at the different stages of growth. It's just a much more authentic and nice way to celebrate the flowers, to show how they actually look. So let's dive in. Now I've opened the book here on the Queen Anne's lace, and you can see how it's in full bloom, and then we have this closed up almost nest going on here. It's the wilted look. And here you can see how I, in the book, take you step by step. So we are going to do that, trying to follow the steps, and maybe not doing the exactly the same. I actually found a photo from this summer I took outside, and I'm gonna follow that, and you can get that photo and the rest of the references from the drawing challenge, the drawing celebration, if you sign up below. I'll put a link so you can go there, and by joining there, you'll get the reference photos and the material list, so you have everything right at hand. And in the book, it says to draw out the main shapes first. So I will do that, and I will have like a cluster flower here, and then we have the wilted one over here. So just the two main shapes of the flower there. And let's see what the book will bring. Drawing out the cluster even more, and let's just see, and using our 005 fine liner to put in the small flowers. So we can do that. I am putting in some circles here, showing the blooms, and I'm spacing them out a little bit because there's some stems beneath, and I think I'm gonna maybe add the stems right away. We could do, I think we should do two. We can kind of cross there. Actually, I think I'm gonna, I don't know, make it a little more uneven there. I do feel like we need a little bit, a third one here. Yes, maybe that will come in a different illustration, but now we can add in the small flower details here, and I'm just zooming in a little bit here. These small clusters has 4-petaled flowers, and you don't need to add in every detail, and it's not even all the flowers that need to be able to see seem like flowers, but some of them will give it that illusion of a cluster, but a lot of them can be just doodles. And of course you don't need to fill out the entire cluster either. It's mostly important on the outer edge actually, because that is what defines the border of the cluster. So just going over all of these with some doodly 4-petaled flowers here. And the reason why I'm not doing the outline is to give it a more realistic, more natural look. If I was doing the border first, it would look hard and way too rough. So just doing it like this will give us the image of the clusters with these blooms without it being circles. So it's much more flower clusters than circles. Hope that makes sense. So here we have the final one. And I will check the book to see what we wrote here. See, the next thing is putting the stems down and then giving this one, oh sorry, I actually just wanted to try to give it focus there. We are giving this wilted one the texture as well. And after that, giving it these star shapes on the top of the flower. So let's do that. I'm just trying to keep my reference alive as well on the computer. So we have the small petals in here, also the small stems in here. We want to choose somewhere for them to meet, and it could be around here, for example. So we just want all of the stems to kind of meet up in that spot. Some of them will of course not be visible because they are hiding behind other flower clusters, but this is perfect. And then of course we have this long shapes, and then these starbursts at the end. Starburst was actually, I was kind of struggling with finding the right word for this, because but they look really a lot like stars, so I went with that. And we have some in front as well, so they are kind of hugging the inside of this flower. Maybe we can put in one that is a little bit on the side there. And I just noticed that my next step is adding some, not petals, but more like almost like a dress for this, like a ballet dancer. So we can put that in, and I think I'm gonna give it a stem as well, now that we are on that path. And the stem actually has small hairs, so you can give it that too, like that. And the full bloom also has this dress. It's just hidden a little bit below, and it's more like going from the inside of the flower and out below here, so like that. And we can put in the stem here as well. And maybe giving it a bit of green here. So that could kind of make up for not having 3 flowers. Now I'll remove my pencil line very softly without getting too much of the paper broken, but also avoiding to remove too much of the fine liner, because if you erase too hard, some of the fine liner can disappear. So here we have the Full Bloom and the Wilted Beauty. And I think we are about to get started on some watercolor. Let's check out the book. I'll just zoom out. See, we have that here. And erasing, yes. Let's see. Here in step 11, wet the area inside the wilted bloom, and with your size 4 brush, drip green gold, burnt umber and Payne's gray into the water. Don't force the mix, just let it mingle and spread by itself. And let's leave some white space so it doesn't feel too heavy. Perfect, so we're gonna do that. And in number 12, we are painting the clusters with a watery Payne's gray and a little bit of green gold. Finally adding color to the stem, green gold, dripping in a little bit of Payne's gray, and finally, the artsy splatters. Let's see how that goes. But first, burnt umber, Payne's gray and green gold inside here. And I have my water and I have my paint here. And I'll zoom in a little bit more here. So what I've done here is wetting this inside. And you can always, if you are unsure how much you need, you can tilt your head and see if it's wet or not and where it is. So dripping in green gold and burnt umber and Payne's gray. And just let it mingle. I already did a little bit too much, I can see, but stuff like that happens. I'm gonna leave it like that, and we can take this one. And remember, that was a watery Payne's gray with a little bit of green gold. So to make sure it is very watery, you can use a palette to kind of just put it down and make sure there's a lot of water. So I am putting it on all the clusters here. Remember, it's a white flower, and white flowers are never really white, but it can be tricky to paint a white flower when we have watercolor that is transparent. But this is a way to do it. It dries up a lot lighter and it will hopefully look more white. I'll paint the stems now in green gold. If you're unsure how to get your lines straight, rest your hand on your pinky, and that will help. I'm trying to drip in a little bit of Payne's gray here, but it actually dried for me. But it's okay. Just gonna put in a little bit of water, and that is good. Finally, we have the artsy splatters, and I think I'm gonna go with burnt umber and a little bit of green gold and a little bit of water. So like this. Here you go. So there we have our first sketch, and I'm just going to turn the camera so I can say hello and check out. That was the first flower in our wildflower celebration, and I hope you are kind of eager to get started trying it out. If you are posting it on Instagram or Facebook, so, you know, social media, I would love it if you would tag me, because then I can see it and reshare it. And you can use the hashtag Camilla Damsbo Art Inspired to make sure I see it. And of course, if you haven't yet, I would love it if you would pre-order this book. There is 25 projects in here, flowers of all sorts of wildflowers, and it's just waiting for you to receive it. And when you pre-order, I have created a pre-order gratitude map where I put gold sequins on it each and every time I get a message that someone pre-ordered and where they live in the world. Gold sequin, and it's getting super sparkly, so I love that. So when you pre-order, send me a DM or a mail or wherever you can reach me and tell me and share where I should put the gold sequin, and I can't wait. And of course, if you want the references and the material list, there's a link below, and you can grab it there. And I just want to say, have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video.